Hey everybody, it's Sophia from No Love Lost 2.0, and I got my boy Moses on the line.
Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody?
So this is gonna be part two, and we gonna get into it. So y'all make sure y'all check out part one if y'all didn't already. It's juicy, it's spicy, it's mm. Okay. So Moses, let's start off.
Crazy as
It's just
hell.
that good. It's just that good. So
Yep,
let's
yep.
let's get back into it where we was. So start it off, Mo.
Yeah, so basically, we were talking about in part one about dating a hoe and how more or less how that can go in many different ways and you know how it affects the other person, how it affects them, and all those other things. So, I do want to continue with the example that I stated before. Um, so because you gave more of like an example of personal experience, but just using the example on itself, if you was that boy and the boy that he wanted to see came at 1 in the morning spontaneously, when having high respect for yourself, how would you handle a situation like that?
I would have said, "Do not come." I would have said, you did not give me ample a notification or give me time to even entertain you." And you have to give me that time just like I would give you that same respect. I wouldn't just show up. In this day and age, I don't think anybody should just show up.
Mm. And then he could easily respond like, "Okay, well, you live with your mom. You're not doing nothing because I know you're not doing anything. So you could come
How do you
down."
know that? How do you know that? You don't we're in the talking phase, meaning you're getting to know me, meaning that you don't know everything I got going on. You know what I tell you. And what I tell you is not everything because like we're in the talking phase.
Well, based on our dynamic, I'm comfortable enough to pop up and tell you to come down because I know you will come down.
Well, I know that was a weak person then because you should never feel that confident to just show up
That's right.
and, and think that you have that ability to just show up, especially you're not my man. We just talking and you obviously are showing me that you are doing you and you're living your life and doing whatever you please. So I would never even allow you to make yourself that comfortable.
So would you rather like the guy text you and say, "Hey, I'm free. I'm in my I'm free right now. Ain't nothing going on, but I don't want to drive home. So I'm on my way. Hopefully I get to see you for a little bit." Like, would you rather be okay with that?
I would rather that because that gives me a chance to have a conversation and give you the chance to decide if I want to see you because it could be a situation where nothing could be going on. Like you know how you like to watch wrestling, right? Or you like to do what you do privately by yourself. Sometimes I know when I was single or stuff, I just didn't want to be bothered. Sometimes, even when you are talking to somebody, you don't want to be bothered. Sometimes, for your mental health, you like being alone. And it could be a space where you just don't want to be bothered that day. Or you just showing up. And what if I'm just not in the mood to be dealing with nobody that day?
Hmm. Well, I guess because everyone is different. I feel like if I was talking to someone, and they was so, you know, like I feel like if those hit me up spontaneously and be like, "Yo, I'm downstairs, come down." I feel like yeah, I'll get like googly eyed, like, "Oh my God, my cute boy. I'm getting to know he's downstairs." And the first thing that'll come into my mind is, okay, what time is it and how long can I stay out? Most likely he'll be okay with that. Like, how long can I stay out?
Yeah.
And what I'm doing right now, can it wait? And if it can't, or maybe I was planning on taking a shower, planning on eating, blah blah blah. Well, obviously, we can just drive and stop somewhere to eat. Um, and if I'm gonna go take a shower, I'll probably just be like, I just double park your car and come take a shower with me, and like come join me in the shower. And I would want him to come up and join me in the shower. But I guess that's off of good intention, that the boy that just pops up is doing that out of good intention. But nowadays, it's very difficult, in my opinion, to really give that good intention benefit of the doubt when it comes to people, because not a lot of people have good intention. People could just be so full of themselves, and it's like, "Well, I'm popping up because I want to, and you're gonna come down and see me because I said so," type of vibe. And yeah, I guess stuff like that. It's more depending on the dynamic. Because I feel like as you start to get to know someone, they're not gonna do that so quickly. But as they get to know you and they see, oh, he's so easy, then that's where it comes. Like now I could just pop up in your house and you gonna come down regardless.
Yeah. But and then when you allow somebody to be in that space in your life, then you now have allowed them to get too comfortable.
Yep, and especially that they tell you that they're not looking for a relationship and they do stuff like that. No, you can't accept that
That's
because
right.
you just not like you're not gonna pop up to a friend's house and be like, "Yo, come downstairs." Like I'm busy. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Like, I'll see you tomorrow. You
So
know?
so let me ask you, if you were the person that a guy was like, Moses, I'm about to just pop up on you right now. I know you living with your mother. You ain't doing nothing. How would you handle that?
Oh. Um, just by you saying it, like my first reaction would just be like, "How you telling me I'm not doing nothing? Like that's my choice to make. Like let me allow myself to make that choice." But I would feel type of way just how not the tone, but how it was said. Like being very demanding. I tend to not like that. But if you would have communicated in a different way and say, "Hey, I'm not doing that right now, and you probably not doing anything anyways. I'm on my way to you. I'm gonna pass by for like 10 minutes." And okay, I would have fight you on it, cause like the way you communicated. But if you come out a little too strong and too entitled, it's gonna rub me the wrong way
Hmm.
because you're gonna make me respond like, if you come and you only get in 10 minutes, I'm busy. Oh, busy doing what? Why are you asking me these questions? But
Yeah.
but
But
then
what if they say I'm downstairs? What if they say I'm downstairs? Come downstairs. And you in your pajamas, chilling, already in the bed, and they say come downstairs.
well, I get a little plushy. I go down. Yeah, I'll go down for a little bit. This ain't my boo thing. I'm like, oh,
No,
what you
this
doing
ain't
here,
your boo.
spontaneous?
Y'all just talking. Y'all ain't sleep together yet. Y'all just talking. And he just tells you, but okay, so the first time I can see why you would do it because it's like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, yo, you just popping up on me. But if it becomes a situation where it just happens when he feels like it, but if you wanted to do it, he'd be like, nah, you can't be just popping up.
That yo, that would be see, that would be crazy, but I feel like if people know how you are, like there's a way that they will communicate that, but then that'll turn into manipulation. Because instead of saying now you can't do that, they'll probably come off like oh thank you babe for coming to see me. I appreciate it, but my with things that's going on upstairs and how life is. Remember I told you a while ago? Yeah, and then with security cameras and the super blah blah blah. Yeah, so unfortunately, like just please give me a heads up when you come next time. Yeah, that surprising stuff, like the block or wherever we live at, it's a little rowdy at nights. With people hanging out, so a little dangerous. I wouldn't want you to just pop up. I would like to know when you on your way, when you're coming, so I can wait for you downstairs. Yeah, so I could just watch you and know you are right. Like I feel like they'll use that type of communication to manipulate you to be like, nah, you can't pop up in my house.
Okay, so and if they said that to you, then what?
So usually if it's a boy that I want to talk to, my emotions are gonna get involved. So I feel like I'm gonna be quick to believe it. And be like, you know what? I could see it. Yeah, all right, I'll let you know from now on.
Okay.
Which I find it to be, which like I understand, but like any smart person will kind of be like, is it a bad block? Do they got security cameras? Do those security cameras work? Does a super stool live there? And one thing about my girl Michelle from the job, you tell her that she'd be like, okay, but she would do her investigation. Oh really? Let me see if these cameras work. Like she'll really figure out like, are you lying or are you playing in my face?
Gotcha.
Because you have never mentioned this to me before. Like I've spoken to you about coming over to your house and you was okay with it. but you ain't never mentioned all these things until I popped up. That's funny to me. Like I feel like that would be something that will be discussed to me at the beginning. Like, or like maybe like the first time I mentioned, oh, maybe I could go to your house and chill. Then that's when you'd be like, yeah, you can, but it has to be me and you because be people around the block, acting a fool and stuff. So yeah, like you would approach that at the beginning when it first comes up, but you don't wait until a specific situation happens for you to come up with all these things that you ain't never spoke about before. Unless a person could twist it and be like, well, I didn't think it was irrelevant. Because if you come with me to my house, you ain't got nothing to worry about because you with me, and I got you. But I'm saying it now because you coming alone. But then it's like I'm always around the city alone, but I can't pop up. It's a lot, and I feel like you would never know the actual truth. You just kind of have to go with, I guess, what it is, and like if it's not proven yet that he lying, I feel like the only thing you could do is just have your eyes open. That's it. Like
So what
I
if
don't think it's
so
fair to
after
judge
he
them.
said you can't pop up over there where he is, but he can continue to do it to you?
You know, I feel like with me, he would have to have a really good reason for me to believe it and accept it.
Okay.
So, but to answer your question, yes, it will be yes. Like I don't think like that's cool, but I'm just saying like for reference, I feel like yes, I'll be like that gullible one to be like to accept that. So, and I also feel like in due time, you probably figure out the ins and outs, and maybe one day, like you know what? Let me see how bad it is. Let me see if he actually telling the truth. Cause but then again, I don't see why a person would hide. Like if y'all just getting to know each other, but y'all not in a relationship, so y'all both technically still single, then why would he tell you not to pop up unless he's bringing over people to his house to have sex with them? But but then to me, it's like, well, why can't you tell me that? Like that's your
Yeah.
life. All I need to know is if you ever ready to start a relationship with me, are you willing to leave that life behind? Because if not, then why are you wasting my time? But then if you feel like you're wasting your time, that's not a question you ask them because that's not their place to answer. That's your place to answer. It's your question you ask yourself. You don't ask the other partner, oh, or am I wasting my time? Or are you wasting my time? Who's he to answer that question? You're just giving him authority to
That's
manipulate you.
true.
That's all. But anyways, yeah, so with that boy, yeah, it was discussed at the beginning. Like, listen, I'm in my whole era. I'm not looking for a relationship, so I'm just out here having my fun. I'm just gonna continue to get to know you. Blah blah blah. Um, but with him, it has been very interesting, and the boy has told me, he's like, I have told this kid right at the beginning, how I'm planning on moving my
Hmm.
life and how I'm living my life right now. So however they choose to take that is their business. And I agree. I respect it, right? Because so now if you're in a club, you dancing and someone comes and buys you a drink and you take the drink, or someone wanna come dance with you and then you dance with them and you keep blah blah with them. There ain't nothing you could do because y'all both single. I feel like there is a level where if you specifically go out to like a bar with that person, with the intent to hang out with that person, then yes, I can see where another boy is coming up to you and you entertaining it could be disrespectful. Because if you know that, then what's the point then? What's the point of going out with me and spending time with me if you know that people are gonna approach you and you're gonna entertain? And I feel like if it was me, I'll speak up. I'll be like, "Why are you entertaining that for? Aren't you here with me?" "Oh, it's not that serious." "Well, it's serious to me because you just told me that you wanted to go out just me and you, and we out me and you. But why are you being so friendly to people?"
Mm.
Like it's and I wouldn't want to be around that because I'ma feel like you playing in my face. Like, you making it seem like, oh, it's just me and you, we're getting closer and closer and closer. But then it's like you take one step forward and two steps back. Because now when you make me feel important, now what you just did makes me feel like I'm not nobody.
Mm.
So what? I'm gonna be quick to believe I'm a nobody versus me believing that I'm important because of what you're doing. Now, if they come up to you and buy you a drink, and then you hee hee ha for a little while, and then you turn to me, all right, whatever, get your free drink for me and you, cause we both gonna share, and that's it. Like, no if ands or buts about it. But yeah, exchanging Instagrams and and still talking and engaging, and all of a sudden you go for like me and you to like now he's involved and we all three talking. It's, I'm gonna be the one to be like, all right, thank you, all right, come on, come on, babe, let's move over there. I'm gonna move us because you're not doing it. And I know you can't prejudge people based on what they do in their single life, but I feel like when you specifically in an outing with that one person that you're getting to know, what they do when it's only y'all two will determine how things can be once things become official. So that I believe. Because when it's me and you know, how are you gonna act? How are you gonna behave? Because if you still your single self with or without me, then what's the point? Like, why am I sacrificing my time to be here with you if you're gonna treat me like a regular person?
That's
If
right.
all
And
that I could just
time
be
is
home.
what? Very valuable. I always tell people that time is valuable. And giving up your time to people who don't really deserve it is just that's a waste. And life is too much is going on in life that you could be doing than dealing with somebody who is not really appreciative of the time that they are with you. And I also say if people show you that they don't respect you while you are with them or in their face, that says a lot too. And then if they know they can play you in your face, they're gonna continue to. If I know that you're gonna let me treat you anywhere in your face and you're not gonna say nothing or do nothing about it or reprimand anything about it, then it's gonna continue. You know? So I feel like people have to, like I said in the last episode, stand up. Stand up for yourself. It doesn't mean you have to be ignorant. It doesn't mean you have to go off. It means that you have to set a boundary, which is a standard. And when you feel like and if the person don't respect the boundary, then that's okay. They don't have to. But then you need to know what you need to do so you always feel what? Respected. Whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll deal with a situation because it's comfortable. Sometimes we'll deal with a situation because it's always, oh, it's just this one person that I will allow this. And then anybody else, if they play with me like that, I ain't gonna have it. We all have that mindset to a degree. But it comes a point where do you love yourself? And people be like, damn, Zafir, why you gotta say stuff like that? Because I tell people, I'll be like, if you love yourself, you wouldn't allow anybody to treat you just any way. Because loving yourself don't mean you have to be over
Mm-hmm.
dramatic or curse somebody out or be disrespectful. It means you set the standard to how you want to be treated. That means people treat you how you want to be treated. And if people don't understand how to treat you, you tell them how to treat you. And if they don't want to treat you that way, then that person's not for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyways, so the second time, is when he told me about the polygamy. And then the third time we met up
Mhm.
at a bar. Um he it was me, him, the boy, and other people. So we all just went to like a local bar. We were just vibing out, having our fun. Okay, cool. I think that was the Saturday night when they had the ball,
Mhm.
down back at the community center. Um, yeah, that so like a lot of like a couple of us, we went down to at the bar, we chilled out for a bit, and then we ended the night at another bar. So when we chilled there, he ended up kind of like disappearing, like going out to enjoy himself, going all the way around. And he told me that he was just like, I had to do that because I was a little upset. He was doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. And I'm just looking at him, I'm just like, but why does that bother you? Like, why does it bother you? And why do things like that have so much power over you? that is now affecting your emotions. And mind you, he hasn't really done anything. So where's all this emotion coming from? And why do you feel like you have to do certain things to get his attention, to get him to react? So I told him, I said, you know, because that was the third time. And yesterday when they was together, he said that he went to, I guess, say bye to a kid, and he leaned in for a kiss, and and luckily the kid moved away, and he kissed him in the cheek or whatever. But I guess when he was doing that, the boy told him, don't you effing dare. Like, try to say, don't you effing dare, like, kiss him or whatever the case is. And then the conversation I was having with earlier, he was like, oh my God, why would he say that? Why would he be like that towards me? And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, but deep down in the conversation, you ratted yourself out and you said you did it out of pettiness. And I'm just like,
You just like what? And I get it. If people will tell on themselves in the middle of the conversation, like you were saying, so how was he telling on himself? Tell me, because he was saying he was being petty. Yeah. So just yeah, I was just saying I agree with you. So tell me how he was being petty.
yeah, yeah. You hear me? I know I paused for a second. Did you hear? Did you? Yeah, yeah. So he no, no, I guess, so basically it was the kiss. So it was the boy, and that landed on his cheek, that he was doing that to get the attention of the other boy. you know um but then I told him, I said, you have to remember that this boy, he's out there. He has a lot of friends that are boys, a lot of friends that are transgender. Like, he's friends with a lot of people in this scene. And he doesn't really have a type. Like, he's open-minded. So now he has a more broader range of people that he can see, that he can like and go meet up with. So you don't really have, like, you don't hold much weight when it comes to it. So not only are you not giving him any sex, but you're starting to be clingy, you're starting to be attached, and you're doing all these things to a boy that basically told you he's a hoe and he's seeing other boys. Like, you're asking to get cut off. Like, you're really asking for that person to just cut you off because you're doing too much. But he told me that he's not really that type, that he's more like he'll become a little distant and then a little distant, and then it'll be a whole big space. Maybe it could be maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, or maybe a month, and then he'll come back. So it's just like, maybe he said that, like, don't effing dare. And I told him, I said, I think he said that because he, like, the sign that you giving of wanting attention, he's seen it in all other boys. So what you're doing, he has saw it already. He knows the signs. So he probably said that as in, this is not you, and normally you would never do this, but I know why you're doing it, because you want me to react, you want me to give you attention. So you know what? You want the attention, I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm not gonna give you the attention that you want. I'm gonna give you the attention that you're not gonna like, because you're playing in my face. You're doing stupid things, taking a reaction out of me, and you pissing me off. Because I told you, stop what you're doing, stop with the bullshit, and you keep doing it, and you're making me come out of character in front of people because you're trying me. But that's the vibe I get for him saying don't dare, because,
Well,
like,
he showed
I
that
know what
that
you're
the
doing.
fact
Don't do
he
that.
showed
Because if
that,
you do that, I'll
like you
kick you out of
said,
my
he
car,
showed that
and I will
because
never
he knew
talk to
that
you
you
for
were
a good
playing.
while,
He
because you're
like
not
he
gonna
knew
play
the
in my
boy was
face.
playing in his face, and
Like,
it
do not
wasn't
do stupid
on no
stuff.
serious shit. That's why he didn't respect it. It's not respected because it knew that you was being a joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I told the boy, I said, still, what is it about this boy that holds so much power over you? And then he's giving him excuses. oh, you know what, oh, maybe this or maybe that. Like it should not be no maybe. And then, basically,
And they're
like
not.
after that
But
situation happened, he found out that the other boy that he was with, it's his legal husband. Like legally, they still married. Like they haven't gotten a divorce yet. And how, and then he put the boy in the front seat of the car, and the rest of the friends in the back of the car, and then the boy that was being petty ended up having to take the train back home. And then he told me that the boy told him, "Oh, get home safe. Text me when you get there." And then he texted him when he got there. And then I asked him, "Well, did he text you back?" And he goes, "Nope." I said, "Wow, wow. Like, how
I
many
think both of
times
them
is
are
this
right.
boy gonna play in your face for you to see it and step up?" But, you know, I do say that it's so hard to get upset at the boy, because the boy already told you how he was moving. So these moves like this is to be expected. I would expect that from someone that told me that they're gonna continue, being like moving how single people usually move. But my thing was, at the same time, was that, yes, I agree. But if it just so happened that I'm at the same bar that you come into and you see me there, there's still a level of respect. Like, yeah, you could come say hi, give me a little kiss on the cheek or whatever, and show me, maybe have like a little drink with me. And then like you can go with your friends to the opposite side of the bar and do your thing, while me and my people do our thing. That's okay. And then when we exit, I feel like you can come up to me and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's no space in my car. So if you want, we're going here. You can meet us there." Like, some sort of level of
Well,
respect,
that, like
I
I
would be
said, that
okay
was his
with.
husband.
But I'm assuming that the boy just left the
Like
bar and just
that
went
was
straight to the
his
car and then
husband.
put the boy in the front seat
You're
and then
just the
drove
guy
off.
he was. The person
But
was just the guy he was talking to. It's not the same. You
yeah,
crying,
yeah. So
crying, crying. And then if I seen a video of a
and then
dude
like
acting
your
like
feelings
that
are
after
hurt
I did
for
him like
what?
that,
It
I'ma
was your
laugh.
expectation.
'Cause I'ma laugh. I'ma call Moses, be like, Moses, let me show you this video. He crying. And to post it, you're embarrassing. You're unstable. You're definitely not the one that that boy need to be with, because you can't handle your emotions. I know it ain't no damn Scorpio.
And like, so his main sign is a
Thank
Capricorn,
God. You know
but
they
one of his
emotional.
signs, guess what's one of his signs? It's a Cancer.
And there's nothing wrong with cancers being emotional. Let me put that up there, because one of my closest friends
So,
is a cancer.
I think that's a big reason why he going through this and declining and stuff. Oh, yeah, yeah, there's not, but yeah, so like I told you too, like I texted you, I said, is he really crying that the
If it
flower that was
was,
given to him,
grow up. You're
last night
childish. It's
at
not
the
that
bar
serious.
was from a
And the
different
man that you
man
wanted to
and
be
not
is
the one
not gonna be him.
he
You know
wanted to
why?
be?
Because he told you from the beginning he's living his life.
And you
I don't know what he looked like. I'm not gonna say I agree to that, because I don't judge other men, because I am a married man. But I
and
wouldn't
you
say
a
all
cute,
that, because
beautiful kid.
being
Like,
cute or not
nah,
is not
Chuck.
gonna be conducive to having high self esteem.
Yes, that is true. But basically what I told them before was, you are too cute to, nice body, nice skin, everything, like too cute to belittle yourself to a a a place that
Well, that goes
Another
back to
person can
his
have so much
looks, his
power over
body
you and do
have
whatever
nothing
they
to
want,
do
say whatever they
with
want,
his
treat you whatever they
mindset
want,
and his
and you would
self-esteem.
just be okay with
Because
that.
I said it to you before. I said sometimes the not so best looking people will have the highest self-esteem, and that's why they get whatever they want. And that's why they attract certain people. You know why? Because they authentically, naturally have such good energy and so positive and have self-esteem that is so high that regardless of what anybody says or does, they think too highly of themselves to allow disrespect. So that's why I get what
Mhm.
you're saying. You're cute, you're young,
Mhm.
you're beautiful, whatever, nice body, whatever. But what it comes down to is that's physical. What you got going on the inside is going to determine how you move as a person. Because some of the cutest people have the weakest and lowest self-esteem. They don't love themselves. I value people who love themselves because you can't love nobody. Maya Angelou said it best. You can't love
Yep.
nobody if you don't love yourself. She said, if a naked man offered you a shirt, what would you think of that naked man? Why would a naked man offer you a shirt? He's naked. I don't want anybody to love me that does not love themselves. So obviously, there's some issues with self love. We at the 31-minute mark, Moses. Yeah, because and I'm leaving this in there.
Yeah,
He
and
told me to text him and tell him. I'm texting this boy. He
yeah,
ain't responded
that's
at
all
the
right. Yeah, we
27th
gonna
mark,
end.
the
We ending it.
29th
We
mark.
ending it, so it don't be
I'm
too
like,
long.
yeah. So at this point, y'all gonna hear the raw and real deal of recording the podcast with me and Moses.
Yeah, yeah, but just to touch briefly on what you said about like very cute people having like fragile self-esteem,
Sometimes they do.
you know,
Sometimes
do
the
you feel
most
like
person that
they
looks
will
the
either
most
use other
confident is the
people or
most
use
loneliest.
materials, use
Sometimes
money,
the
or use
person who
different
looks like
things to
everything is
mask
perfect
that?
in their life is the most depressed. Having things or acting, I value people who are okay with being honest with themselves, meaning that they can be in any room in any setting and authentically be themselves. Versus, you can tell when people put on an act in order to be wherever they are. You can tell when a person's pushing a personality that they naturally don't have. And yes, there's a time and a place for all situations. But one thing about me is I don't
Mm,
care where I am, who I'm with. I'm not going to be ignorant. First of all, I'm not ignorant, period. But
mm-hmm.
wherever I am, I'm going to be authentically me. I'm going to talk. I'm going to converse. I'm not going to down my energy because it's like if you introduce me to somebody, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I got to be more quiet now, or I can't talk because I want them to think this of me. No, I am coming as me. And if I get more comfortable with you over time, you will get more of me. So that goes back to self respect
Mm-hmm.
and self love. If you don't have those two things for yourself, how do you expect anybody to
Mm-hmm.
take you seriously? Or how do you expect a hoe to want monogamy with you? And why do you want to be with somebody who may never want monogamy with you? You're wasting your youth and your young years chasing after somebody who does not see you in the light that they see others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so so basically to end it, uh how would you recap the whole situation with the example I gave you with the boy
The
and the boy
last
he's
thing I
talking
would
to
say
and all
with
that stuff?
as
If you
oh,
was
go
to
ahead.
recap
What's up?
everything into to wrapping it up, what
You
would be
could go
the
first.
last thing you would say about it? Or you uh, yeah, I'm sorry. Or would you want me to go first? All right. So basically what I would say is when someone tells you from the beginning what it is, that's not something to play with. That should be like, okay, that's a boundary. And am I okay with that? Could I accept that? And if that doesn't click and connect with your life, then maybe they're okay as friends. Like y'all guys could just be regular friends, and you go and try to date somebody else. Um, if not, if y'all guys move to a place where y'all can start to get to know each other, know one another, then just kind of know your place, like know where you stand. Obviously you have boundaries for yourself, and you would respect their boundaries. And I guess the more you be around them, the more you get to know who they are, know how they are, how they move. And that will be part of the getting to know them process. And you get to figure out if that's the type of person that you would like to be around. you know, do you see them kind of changing or being a little different if it was to be official to you? It's a lot of things that you got to break down as you start to get to know them in due time. And it's not easy, but you want to limit your emotion, you want to limit your expectation, you want to limit a lot of things, but you shouldn't ever belittle yourself or have to accept certain things because you want this specific person. The things that you should accept should be things that can be compromised but doesn't attack your character. So it's just be observant, and I guess just things ultimately will review itself, and you will get answers to the questions you have as you go through the process and getting to know them. But just always keep yourself first. Always
Okay,
make
and
sure
how I
yourself is
would
good
say
first,
this from
and
this
in
being
due
part
time
two
it
from
would
the first
reveal if
episode to
it's
leading
for
into this
you.
episode, I would recap it and say this. Ultimately, respect yourself, love yourself, and everything will work out. In the sense of sometimes you'll know when it's time to walk away from a situation that feeds you. Sometimes you'll know to walk away from a situation when it does nothing for you. It doesn't cause you no happiness, because truthfully, happiness is with yourself. And then you'll find somebody to be happy with. Two, to the person that chooses to be a whole or live a whole lifestyle after being in a relationship or not, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you, baby? Live your life. Bust your hole wide open. Bust your penis wide in the holes. Whatever you do, live your life fruitfully, happily, and safely. Of course. And I don't think there's anything wrong with how you live in your life, because if you're upfront with people and people allow themselves to attach themselves to you in a manner where you're not ready to be in that position in love or in monogamy with them, that's on them. And I don't fault you. And then for the person, and I'll wrap it up with, for the person who is chasing after somebody who's living that lifestyle, love yourself first. Find God, because God is love. And if you believe that God is love, you should love yourself. And loving yourself means valuing yourself, to not put yourself in any situation that will cause you to be in pain. And that's how I sign out. No Love Lost 2.0. Moses, wrap this episode up. And that's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, as well as
Yo, come follow us on
YouTube. I always
Instagram,
say like
YouTube,
Oprah,
No
and
Love
Apple.
Laws
And make sure y'all continue to
2.0.
show love to the page. At this point, this is me and Moses podcast, because he the only person that's co-hosting on this. So, shout out to Moses for coming through from the Bronx to show us some love. One, love. Woo! Yes, what's wrong with
Per
you?
per love. I'm sorry, guys.